Many NFL legends spent their entire career with that one team, like Terry Bradshaw, Walter Payton, and probably Tom Brady. But as their careers began to wind down, some NFL legends finished their career with a random team. And by random team, we mean a team that, well, you probably forgot actually employed them. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we present 10 NFL legends who finished their careers on random teams. Eric Dickerson, Atlanta Falcons. The Hall of Famer running back is best known for his 2,105 rushing yards in 1984, which remains a single-season record. The six-time Pro Bowler spent his first 4 seasons with the Los Angeles Rams before being traded to the Indianapolis Colts. Many forget, however, that Dickerson's final NFL season was with the Atlanta Falcons in 1994. Dickerson appeared in just 4 games and had 26 carries. He was traded to the Green Bay Packers, but failed a physical and never played for them. For what it's worth, Dickerson signed a one-day contract with the Rams in 2017, so he could retire with the team that made him a legend. But really, we all forgot that his final game was with Atlanta. Speaking of the Rams, Broadway Joe Namath is best known as quarterback of the New York Jets from 1965 to 76. He became a legend for guaranteeing that the Jets would shock the 18-point favorite Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III, which they did. Namath was nearing the end of his career, however, and the Jets wanted to move on. The Hall of Famer signed with the LA Rams in 1977. But Namath was way past his prime. He was beaten and battered and had way too many injuries. After just 4 games, Namath was benched and would later retire. So yeah, he played for the Rams. We figured you had no idea. Mike Webster, Kansas City Chiefs. One of the key pieces of the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary 1970s dynasty, Webster was the center, the man who anchored the offensive line and protected quarterback Terry Bradshaw throughout his career. Webster was a 9-time Pro Bowler whose career in the Steel City spanned from 1974 to 88. But as Webster's career began to wind down, the Steelers went in another direction. The Kansas City Chiefs signed with Webster in 1989, and he would spend his final 2 years there. Webster was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1997. Cris Carter, Miami Dolphins. After 3 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, Cris Carter joined the Minnesota Vikings for the 1990 season, and it turned out to be a franchise changer. Carter became one of the most prolific wide receivers of the 90s, racking up 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He and Randy Moss were a duo like no other in 1998, as the Vikings went 15-1 and set a then record with 556 points scored. What you probably don't remember is that Carter signed with the receiver-desperate Miami Dolphins in 2002, but he was way past his prime at that point. Carter had 8 receptions for 66 yards and just 1 touchdown in 5 games. He then retired after the 2002 campaign. Tony Dorsett, Denver Broncos. One of the most dominant running backs of all time, Tony Dorsett spent his first 11 NFL seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. Dorsett and quarterback Roger Staubach were one of the greater QB-RB combos, leading Dallas to 1 Super Bowl championship. Dorsett was a 4-time Pro Bowler and had 8 1,000-yard rushing seasons in his career. The Cowboys would then trade Dorsett to the Denver Broncos in 1988 for a 5th-round pick. Dorsett rushed for 703 yards, but a bad knee injury forced him into retirement the following year. Dorsett is a legend in Dallas, but many good folks in Denver and across the football world forget that Hall of Famer once suited up for the Broncos. Deion Sanders, Baltimore Ravens. The greatest cornerback in NFL history had memorable stints with 3 different teams. For starters, we all know that Prime Time was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, where he spent his first 5 NFL seasons. We all know that Sanders ditched them to sign with the San Francisco 49ers in 1994, where he won his first Super Bowl. We know Sanders then joined the Dallas Cowboys, where he played for 5 years and won championship ring number 2. But people forget that after a frustrating tenure with the Washington Redskins, Sanders retired. But the Baltimore Ravens lured Sanders out of retirement in 2004, and he spent 4 more years there. Yep, he, Ray Lewis, and Ed Reed were on the field together. 3 of the best defensive players ever. Thing is, Sanders was way past his prime and shouldn't have come back. People tend to forget Baltimore's where his legendary career ended. Emmitt Smith, Arizona Cardinals. The NFL's all-time rushing yards and rushing touchdowns leader was a cornerstone piece of the Dallas Cowboys' 90s dynasty that won 3 Super Bowls. Smith spent his first 13 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys, and the idea of him playing elsewhere always seemed crazy. But with head coach Bill Parcells looking to retool the running back position, he let go of Smith, who signed a 2-year deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Smith, however, was well past his prime. Even though he said he could push for 1,300 yards, Smith never came close to that and was done after the 2004 season. He signed a 1-day deal with the Cowboys to formally retire with them, but his career actually ended in Arizona. Hard to believe, but yeah, we're not kidding. Crazy, isn't it? Jerry Rice, Seattle Seahawks. The San Francisco 49ers legend is by far the greatest wide receiver of all time. Actually, he's probably the best NFL player of all time. Seriously. Rice, of course, played with the 49ers from 1985 to 2000, leading them to 3 Super Bowl championships and the NFC title game, seemingly every year. The perennial Pro Bowler would sign with the Oakland Raiders, where he spent 3 full seasons. In the midst of the 2004 campaign, Rice was traded to the Seattle Seahawks. In 11 games, Rice caught 25 passes for 362 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rice would sign with the Denver Broncos in 2005, but opted to retire rather than play for them. But yeah, the 49ers legend wound up finishing his career with the rival Seahawks. Who'd have thought? John Unitas, San Diego Chargers. By far the best quarterback of the 50s and 60s, Unitas spent virtually his entire career with the Baltimore Colts. The 3 NFL championships, Super Bowl V victory, and 3 MVP awards all came as a member of Baltimore. Unitas played with the Colts from 1956 to 1972. Though it would have been fitting to see Unitas go out as a Colt, he wanted to play one more year and was traded to the San Diego Chargers in 1973. Unitas only appeared in 5 games, posting a mere 1-3 record while tossing 3 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. He wisely retired in 1974. Reggie White, Carolina Panthers. You can surely make a case that Reggie White is the greatest defensive player of all time. The 13-time Pro Bowl defensive end and Hall of Famer had memorable stints with both the Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers. White, who helped the Packers win Super Bowl 31, spent 6 seasons in Titletown. He retired after the 1998 season, but came back to play the 2000 season with the Carolina Panthers. White had 5.5 sacks that season, then retired. We associate White with the Eagles and Packers, but the Panthers were his final NFL home, believe it or not. What other NFL legends finished their careers on random teams? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.